Everybody to the Sword Coast Chronicles pregame. This pregame is going to be... I'm going to reset this clock. We've heard from a couple of our players that are going to be a few minutes late getting started. So I'm going to go ahead and extend the timer here a little bit. In the meantime, you see, viewers, this is what happens when you are lenient with your players. When you're lenient with your players, they start to lack discipline of knowing that 8 o'clock means be 5 minutes early or you'll get fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Ken. And so it's silent.
Ken may have done my famous trick, which is I will sometimes, after a long day of work, I think the Spanish were the ones that had this all figured out. After a long day of work, I'll actually go sometimes take a little nap before I get started on my after work stuff. And it's like the perfect thing to do would be just for everything to shut down for about 90 minutes around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and everybody take a little nap, and then you get up around 3:30, work until 6 or 7, and then do all your evening stuff after that. That would be the perfect way to do things.
Yeah.
It's like there's just that time in the middle of the afternoon when it's like, I need a little rest.
I sure felt like that today. Man, it was just run. Sorry.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Do I get extra for being here on time, logged in and active? I sent you a couple of items that I think he would have made or could have made. Oh, there's another one I can choose from here.
Hey, James.
Hi, James. Oh, this would be so funny, especially thinking of where we just are. I don't have to do any of these, but I just found a couple of these things. Thought it was funny.
Okay. I see. One of these is at least from old edition. Okay. Okay. Well, we don't have. Looks like we're
you guys
probably. Yeah. Okay. Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Hello. Test.
Yep. I can hear you. Can you hear us? Goonie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Boop boop ba-doo.
Hey.
Remember?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay.
Headset issues.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So it looks like in a couple of minutes we'll have Paul, and that will give us
5.
Yep. Nearly a full party. Okay. Yeah. If you guys had showed up on time,
you would have realized that.
I was going to let you know that we have good news and bad news this week. Good news is, obviously, we have a session to run. Bad news is that our friend Eric got, he got given a very important honeydew list by his wife.
Uh-oh.
So he's not going to be able to make it tonight.
Gotcha.
They're going on a week's vacation, and he's got to help get ready for that. So it's probably one of those things where they thought they were going to be ready for their vacation earlier than they were, and you never are. It's always
I
know that quite well.
Yeah, it's always like, yeah, I was gonna have all this done 3 days ago, and now I'm leaving tomorrow on a red eye, and all this crap still isn't done. I gotta get it done. So yeah, that always happens. This always happens to me. So.
Okay, I will be right back. I gotta go grab my sweatshirt.
All right. Well, then we are going to go ahead and we are going to try this again. And players, obviously, we're streaming now, and viewers, welcome to the slightly delayed start of Sword Coast Chronicles. I am DM Galopond, and we have most of our players here tonight. We know that our friend Paul is going to be joining us in a few minutes. He's having some technical difficulties at the moment, and we're probably not going to have our friend Ivy because she has had a very stressful and long week of work, no days off, so she needs to get some rest tonight. Perfectly understandable. And our friend Eric, who jumped in last week to play Count Thullen, and who I recruited for a different role, and he was very, very much looking forward to that role. He unfortunately is not going to be able to make it. And we knew we had a short window because he's not available next week due to vacation. So we were kind of shooting for getting his piece done last week and this week, but unfortunately, we'll just have to have him back to play a different NPC at some point in the future. So, players, I am going to bring the music down, and I am going to go into a slight little recap for us. Last time on Sword Coast Chronicles, we were in the airship, or the flying castle, Linar Mall. And in Linar Mall, the party had been joined not only by Count Thullen and the dragon Felgolos, but by 3 other dragons who are all in humanoid guise now, and a total of 8 additional giant nobles, giant lords who are who swear fealty to King Hecaton, and who have been recruited by King Hecaton's daughter, Princess Sarissa, to assist in the battle to free her father. And towards the very end of the session last week, one of the dragons came back and informed the party that on a scouting flight, they had spotted the Morkoth. And it was some 6 to 10 hours away. And the reason for that variance is it depends kind of on which direction the Morkoth is sailing and how long it continues sailing in that direction, and whether the castle closes on it sooner or later. And so word was sent to Maelstrom and the storm giants there, who are warriors that ride on their whale mounts. They were getting ready to leave Maelstrom to converge on the ship from below, while the Cloud Giant Castle gets ready to converge on the ship from above. And the party is going to be making some plans to decide how they want to do things. But before that all gets started, Des.
Yes.
Where would we find Des at this point? Would he be in the area he's taken for his quarters? Would
probably be on the upper level with wherever there's greenery, if we're in a little downtime. So
yeah, okay.
He'd be outside.
All right. Well, while you are in this downtime, you receive a sending. And it is a sending from someone who is very familiar to you. This is Shaman Vaken Mooncrown from your people, your Furbolg village, the village called Meadowhome. And this sending has some urgency to it. Desarius, we need you in Meadowhome. The very earth is erupting. Beings of fire are moving across the landscape. We're calling in everyone. Please, come help before it's too late.
Oh boy. He, as he was sitting there just kind of meditating a little bit, and he gets that sending, if anybody had been around, they would have seen him go like extremely stiff and just turn ghost white. Even though he's got a little bit of a bluish skin, he would actually pale extremely. Am I allowed to return, or is it just a sending to send me?
No, you have 25 words you can respond with.
After I take a moment to process that, just to take in what was being said, I will respond with, will be leaving current location soon. I will make great haste to return. Send to me if any further developments happen.
Okay.
And then he will unwind himself from his long legs and everything and basically stand up and go in search of the others.
Okay. And when the rest of you get this news, obviously the dragon in human form comes to find you all. And then you, as known quantities, would probably need to inform somebody who can gather all the giants together and let them know. So, what would the rest of you guys, or where would the rest of you guys be going to try to find Count Thullen?
Where is everybody else? Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
I'm in the forges with sorry, I'm just tired. I'm in the forges with
Krenraid.
Krenraid, yeah, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Hello.
Hello.
Where are you again? You're
in the forges. It's the place where the griffins had been held.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, Krenraid, Michael, and Falazure, I believe, are discussing the armor and other bits and bobs in the forge. Was the last we left off.
Yeah, it would be kind of down there, so we can get you
Des
guys
will
over.
Come down the stairs at a bit of a run, not quite full out sprint, but as he comes kind of trotting down the hallway, he's kind of looking in rooms as he goes by until he comes out to where you guys are and looks at the three of you. Where are the others?
Oh, they're about somewhere, probably with the kids or something. Where's some of you, Des?
Well, I hate to do this at this point in time, but I have to leave. I've been summoned home.
What, like for a couple of days?
No, he seems to fidget a little bit. He's like the shaman of my tribe in Meadowhome put a sending out and said that there are beings of fire that are moving across the landscape, that the very earth near around our home is erupting, and something is terribly amiss by those words. So I need to go. They're calling all of us in.
Yeah, that's a lot to think about. Yeah, absolutely. A person's home is also important, and losing it is awful. So yeah, absolutely, you go get them. Are you going to be back like in a week then?
I don't know. It's how soon we can solve this. It sounds like I don't know, something has angered, I think, the one of the spirits or of the fire, something. I wasn't able to get much in the way of details, but there's very few reasons that we would have something like this happening unless some entity was angered. Just our land has been protected for many generations, and to have something like this happen so suddenly, it's very suspicious.
Where is your land? This is very suspicious, especially beings of fire, considering what we're fighting now. Like, is your land on the way? Can we stop by?
No. Got a character, I think it's in Faerun.
Well, Faerun is the continent.
Okay, yeah, the continent. I gotta.
So it's would it be on the Sword Coast? Do you think it would be inland?
Some
North,
druids keep their
south.
circles secret too.
Yeah, let's see here. Meadowhome. I had all of that written down, and I moved my notes.
And
Home.
I'm going to be the pesky bugger and demand an explanation for why you're leaving.
Location. Okay.
Okay, while you're looking for
Actually,
that,
I've got it right here. It is I guess yes, it's the locations in the northwest of Faerun.
okay, all right.
So
So probably
I'm going to need an address because I will need to write some letters. I want updates. All right. I don't know where we're going to be traveling, but if you're going to be with your kin at your home, right? I'm going to need an address.
you can always send it to my attention to Meadowhome. In
Would that
Faerun.
just find you? How do you spell that? Hold on. Can you write it down for me?
Krenraid, it's okay. We can get Mulek to send Des a message.
And at this point in time,
that's
Des
true. He can
kind
do
of
that, can't he?
smirks just a little bit and goes, well, we are a little bit on the hidden side, so if I need you, I will give you a call.
But what if I want to send you a message to say how we're doing?
We'll figure something out once I get there and see what's going on. And so he reaches into his bag that he's got, his bag of holding. I can't remember if it was a haversack or a bag, but anyway, he reaches in and he pulls out a couple of things and he's like, here. He's like, you guys can probably use these a little better than I can right now, especially since I'm going back to my home. He hands you, let's see here. He has Krenraid a jar of luminescent paint, and he's like, this will glow faintly in the darkness if you paint it on something. And it's probably enough to cover quite a bit of space if you go sparingly.
Oh. So it's like a
Something
like in Grapplestug where we saw like these mushrooms that were kind of like lights.
Yes, something like that. It's something that I've had from home. I just never needed it, but had it just in case. He kind of pulls out a jar, and it's kind of a clay jar, and he holds it out to hang on. He holds it out to Falazure and says, "This always handle with care, and either if you find someone that you don't really like or you want to cause a massive distraction, just make sure you have some space between you and the person you're going to throw this at, break the jar, and it will cause a swarm of spiders to escape the jar and go after the person that you've thrown it at."
Wow, thank you, Des. That's an interesting gift. I'll put it to good use.
He's kind of like, just don't let Belle have it.
No, and I put it in my satchel.
And he kind of looks over at Falazure and holds out a small bag of. It almost feels like sand when he holds it out to you, and he kind of smiles and goes, "This is something again that I've had from home. Just never needed it for anything, or sometimes I forget that I have these things, but you might need it. It's colored flame powder, so if you want to change the color of a flame or something for signal fires, or even maybe your stage shows, being the bard that you are, it just toss in a pinch of this and it will change the flame to blue, red, green, or purple." Did I lose Falazure?
I'm not sure. You may be having some microphone issues.
Okay.
He's too lost in thought thinking about this armor. It's understandable.
And
Don't think of this as being gone for
no,
ever.
but
Des.
I have many more things at home where I came from, and these are just things that I've been carrying around that I don't know, maybe you could find a use for. I've got plenty back home, so
when we come visit you back at your home, right, you can show us around the place, and you can show us where you got the pretty paint. What does it do again?
it glows in the dark.
Okay, yeah, it glows. Very clever.
It's pretty. When you paint it on in low light or full sunlight, it doesn't. You can't see it.
So if I stuck my tongue in it and closed my mouth, would my tongue glow?
And Des just gives Krenraid a big hug, and he goes, "I'm sure it will, but I've never tested that. I don't know if it would be safe to eat it." So
I'll give you a big hug as well. You're gonna have to bend down pretty far to get me, but I'll hug it back.
Yeah. Then he has he's like, well, I don't see is Mulek around, so he has something on his finger, and he takes it off and he holds it out to Krenraid. Said, "Would you give this to him? This is something that we found in our adventures, and I figure you guys can use it now. It's that ring of evasion."
Well, tell you what, let's go get him together. Let's all get everyone together. Like, do you have like 5 minutes before you have to bolt, or do you have to go right now?
I can stay a few more minutes, but then I will need to leave immediately.
Okay, wait here. I'm dashing down the corridor, going to the place with the picture books, because I'm assuming that's where Mulek is.
Yep.
I don't actually know where it is, so I'm dashing it here. I'm trying to find the ogres. Where's the picture books? Ah!
I can't find the picture books.
All right, so Mulek is out there
Yeah.
in the courtyard. Okay.
No, in the library.
In the library. In the library. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess actually, Mulek, while you're there in the library, Felgolos would come to the library and would find you before any of the others do. And he says, Mulek, we have news.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Seldreth on the latest scouting. Seldreth has spotted the Morkoth.
Is it close?
She's about 180 miles away, and was on a path that was not directly headed towards us, but looked like it was heading kind of to the northeast. So if she stays on that track, it'll be maybe 8 hours before we get there. If she turns and goes west, it may be as much as 10 hours. If she turns and comes straight towards us, we might intercept her sooner. So somebody will need to send word to Maelstrom, and somebody will need to tell Count Thullen, and I'll leave it up to you to figure out how you know where the ship is. Make something up.
Okay, so 180 miles. So the earliest and latest that we could intercept, what do you figure?
6 hours, if it generally comes straight in our direction, to anywhere as long as 10 hours if it starts going away from us.
Got it. I will send a message.
All right. I'll go get the rest of my kin and try to get a message to your companions. But obviously, it would be awkward for all of Count Thullen's kindred to know how we got this scouting information.
Yes. I'll be discreet.
Very well. And then he runs off, and as you head up, Krenraid, as you head towards the library, you will just catch sight of one of those other humanoids. Oh, yeah. One of the dragons, running in an opposite direction, or running in a different direction to head back downstairs. Apparently has just come from the library. So.
Oh, yeah. Mr. or Mrs. Dragon, I'm sorry, I can't tell. Do you know where the library is?
And stops and looks, and you say, and it says, Krenraid, this is Felgolos. You don't remember my disguise. It's the same one I had in Waterdeep.
No, I'm sorry. My memory isn't very good.
Oh, well, the library is just up there on the left. Mulek is in there.
Oh,
great. Things are afoot.
Oh,
It
yeah,
won't
things
be
are
long
afoot
now.
right here too. Okay, yeah. Dej has to go because something emergency happened in her home, so we need to get everyone together to say like a proper goodbye. I don't suppose I know it's asking a lot, but could you grab the ogres while I grab Mulek, and we can try and get some like cake or something in the next like 5 minutes.
I'll run past the kitchen. Yes.
Thank you.
and so he
Here,
runs
have some
off.
cake. I've gotta go. Really?
I love the idea of asking a dragon to go tell some ogres to cook a cake.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So, Mulek, you're just recovering from Felgolos leaving, just starting to get ready to cast a spell, and the door flies open, and there's Krenraid.
Mulek! Emergency!
I'm in the middle of something.
Emergency!
What is it now? Did you stub your toe? Did you run out of? Did you cast your spell on accident? What did you do?
No, I'm perfect as always. But Des has to go. All right, Des has got an emergency at home and has to fly like right now to go save his people. So, we need to go and say goodbye.
What?
Yeah, Des has to go save his people, and we've got to go say goodbye. I've asked like the dragon to go tell the ogres to make a cake. Anyway, we've got like 5 minutes. Come on.
Ogres are gonna make a cake in 5 minutes.
All right.
I'm assuming they might have one predisposed.
Well, I just need a moment, and then I will go with you. And
Okay.
I quickly cast sending, and this is the message I send to Maelstrom, to the Queen.
Right? Ah, wonderful.
So I say, you speak with animals. Albatross saw the Markov. We will intercept between 6 and 10 hours.
Okay. The response comes back from Princess Sarista, which you will get as you head off with Krenraid to find the others. So, party, you guys have all gathered together, and I'll let you start talking while I compose the response to Mulek.
I found Mulek and I told the ogres to get some food ready.
What's going on? What'd I miss?
Des just kind of, he's fidgeting a little bit. He's like, I received a sending from my tribe's shaman, and my home, meadow home in Faerun, is basically, the message said that the very earth is erupting and beings of fire are moving across the landscape. The shaman is calling in all of us that have gone walkabout or wandering to come back as soon as possible. So I do not know how long I will be gone. I do not know if I will be able to even come back, depending on what's going on. So I was distributing a few things that were in the bottom of my bag of holding, so to speak, so that I can make sure that I've at least left you guys with a little something before I take off.
Oh, for sure, it's just a loan, right? You will be coming back.
It is hard to say. I do not know if this is something bad enough that our shaman is sending out a message to all of us that have been out on walkabout or out wandering, so to speak, and having us come in, then it's definitely something that they are not able to handle all by themselves. And there's no guarantees. I will do my best to conclude my business and hopefully come back, but again, there are a lot of things out there that could go wrong, or just something may happen. I'm not able to come back right away. So I'm just making sure that you guys have something that may give you a little bit of advantage either for the fight to come or in the future. And he kind of holds out the ring of evasion to you. This was something that we found on our adventures, and I guess maybe you could call this a loan. I will loan this to you to have until we meet again.
Oh, I really appreciate it. You will be missed.
Well,
Very much so.
I hope you make it back soon.
I will miss you guys very much too, and appreciate you allowing me to tag along, so to speak, when we originally met. So it has definitely been an adventure, and getting a chance to realize that I had met Mordekainen and can go tell stories about him, hopefully, at some point to my people, and show off how crazy he is as an individual.
Yeah.
I don't think he's personally sane, but that's beside the point. So I am actually, I must go. I do not wish to delay any further because it will take me some time to get back home.
Okay, we need to take some food for the trip.
I've actually got quite a bit already, so I should be okay. But I
suppose you can
appreciate
also turn
the
into
thought.
like a bird and things like that and just get some food yourself, can't you? Very clever.
Yeah, and that was kind of the plan.
Wish I
So-
could do that.
He pulls out one last thing from his bag, and he's like, "Well, I didn't see Belle here, but give this to her." And he hands what looks like this little bundle of spun spider silk. That when he kind of shakes it out, it becomes basically a spider silk net. So he's like, "Give this to her. I'm sure she'll, if she doesn't use it soon, she will find some way of entertaining herself with it."
Yeah, can do, not a problem.
So,
So
Anyway.
I'll tell you what, either you'll see us or we'll find you. All right? And if you need help at home, drop us a message.
I will send you a sending and call you if we are in desperate need of help.
Okay, include your
with-
address in that so I can send postcards.
You have to remember we're a bit of a reclusive group of individuals, and we like our privacy, so I would have to have permission to basically tell you where we're completely at. But some people do know. You can always ask around. So I must go. And at that point in time, he just kind of wanders over to the edge of the building over here, where the griffins had come in and out, and changes into a giant eagle and kind of flaps out his wings and takes a nosedive off of the side of the building and soars off.
All right.
I'm going to miss him.
Did that just really happen?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, did you guys know that the Morkoth has been seen?
No.
This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, it's we will intercept within 6 to 10 hours.
Oh, that's bloody poor timing, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
come back, Des.
whatever you're doing, prepare.
Oh,
We better hope King Hekaton's on that ship and not already where he needs to, where they're trying to take him.
So the dragons are aware. We need to go let Count Thullen know. And I've notified Maelstrom I told them that an albatross saw it while it was flying, and I spoke to the albatross, and the albatross let me know where the ship was located.
You could speak to albatrosses?
I can speak to animals.
Oh, that's great. That would be really useful. You would just turn into into a bird or a fish, right?
Yeah, but Des is gone now, so.
Oh God, he's gone.
God damn it!
I forgot.
So, do you guys, anyone know where Count Thullen is? I need to go talk to him. I need to go let him know.
I need to run to the armory and work with these ballista bots. So I'll do that. You go. You grab them.
I'm gonna go try and find him.
Okay. You will be able to find Count Thullen out in the courtyard, and he is having a conversation with the other giants. The dragons are not in attendance with that.
So I'll slowly walk up, and do I hear what they're talking about?
They are discussing. They are discussing the. It appears that there's been some disagreement between.
And if they're speaking in giant, I wouldn't know what they're saying. But if they're speaking in common, I would.
Oh, okay.
I'm just throwing that out there.
It's some discussion between the frost giants and the fire giants, and the other giants. The cloud giants appear to be trying to mediate. The stone giants appear to be simply observing and being very thoughtful, and they have some of the bolts for the big ballista, and they're pointing at that, and they're first a frost giant will point at it and grumble something in giant, and then a fire giant will throw up his hands and will point at it and will grumble something back, and they are having a disagreement about something. It doesn't look like it's getting ready to erupt into a fight, but clearly the cloud giants and the stone giants are just they're keeping an eye on everything to make sure nothing gets out of hand.
So I'll walk up and try and get the Count's attention. Count Thullen.
And he looks around and he looks up. Oh, Mulek. It's good to see you. We're having some discussions about the armaments and some enhancements that the frost giants and fire giants are thinking about for the ballista bolts. What do you need?
Oh, well, that is good to hear, because we may need those armaments sooner than later. I have an ability to speak with animals, and I just got word from a passing albatross that the Morkoth has been located. The albatross saw it during its flight, and we are, depending on the trajectory of this ship, we are bound to intercept it within the next 6 to 10 hours.
Oh, Mulek, that is wonderful news, he shouts. And as he raises his voice, the rest of the giants, they all stop and they all look at him, because obviously he responds to you in common. And they all look and they can see that he's got a smile on his face, and he's looking down at you, and there's the frost giants and fire giants seem a little put out that a mere humanoid would interrupt this important discussion that's going on. But then they ask Count Thullen something, and he turns back to them, and he sort of puts a hand down towards you, and he gives some excited information to that, and their faces all brighten, and they look at you, and they some of them sort of raise their fists like in a sign of good show, or they acknowledge that you have brought good news. That's the expression in the body language, and then they immediately all start talking to each other, and they begin to sort of kind of break up and make look like they're getting ready to go and do things. And this one frost giant and this fire giant, they kind of walk off and head up this way, like they're heading to the top level. And this cloud giant and this stone giant, they kind of go off over here, and this fire giant and this cloud giant, they kind of disappear up the ramp here, and then that leaves this frost giant and this stone giant. They will go through this door over in this way, and so pretty soon it's just you and Count Thullen there, and he just sort of watches them go, and he turns and he looks. He says, "They've only been here a day, and they already act like they own the place." But they're going to check on the defenses of the various ballista, so that's good. The good thing with having these reinforcements from Maelstrom is that we have plenty of people to operate the offensive and defensive weapons of the castle.
Yes, that is good. And
what about Felgolos and his friends? Do they know?
Yes, I already let them know.
Oh, good. All right. So I presume they will be making plans. I suggest it's about lunchtime. I suggest that everybody have lunch, and then in the hour after lunch, I will summon everyone to the throne room, and we can have a council of war to decide what we are going to do.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. And as everyone in the oh, by the way, you do get that response from Princess Sarissa. Mulek, you got that at some point. Probably as you were walking up to talk to your friends before Des left. Princess Sarissa replies, "That is good news. We will dispatch our whale riders and equip them to scry you for an intercept course. Thank you."
Perfect. And I'll head off to find the others and let them know we're going to do lunch.
Okay. All right. And as you guys gather together, and everybody on the castle starts to have lunch, we are going to switch venues for a moment. And we are going to we're going to go some distance away. And we are going to be on the deck of a ship. And this is a very curious ship. This ship, down by the waterline, it has the look of a squid, of an enormous squid. And the captain of this ship is one Thullen Daggerdark. He is a human male, and his first mate is someone named Rule. And Rule is a male half-orc. And it is not uncommon when something goes wrong on the ship for the crew to hear Thullen Daggerdark refer to his first mate as blame his first mate for the problem, and then refer to the half-orc as a soulless half-breed, or a human mistake, or a mongrel.
Ouch.
And Rule, anybody who sees Rule when he overhears this can just see like the daggers in his eyes. And when the captain turns his back, there's this look like he just seems to be plotting exactly where to plunge his dagger into the back of his captain. And most of the crew of the Morkoth never really hears much of anything from Rule. But there's someone that Rule has decided that he kind of confides in. And it's because this guy is another half-orc. And so we catch up with a half-orc who is been assigned to duty today. He's been assigned to duty on the lower deck. And his duty is to wash the small clothes of some of the regular crew. And there is an area that has been set aside for that. And this half-orc who goes by the name of Tack, or at least everybody calls him Tack, he is there working on doing this washing, and he's got a heavy shackle around each ankle, and there's about an 18-inch or 2-foot length of chain between those two shackles. And there's also a shackle around his neck. And there's about a 12-foot chain that connects the shackle from his neck to a iron hook high up near the ceiling of the room. And Tack is almost never alone here. And in fact, he hasn't been alone here, but Rule comes storming in one of his moods, and he growls at some of the crew. Get up on deck. I need you to do
I need you to go coil the main lines and check on the sails. That's an order from the captain. Now move it!
And they immediately hop to it and off they go. And as they go, Rule just crosses his arms and leans back against the bulkhead.
And he's like, oh, one day, Captain, you're gonna get what's coming to you.
The other half-orc looks at him as he's like wringing out somebody's underwear. Looks at it, looks up at the other half-orc, looks disgusted, and sticks it back in the water. You should be from my side of things.
Your side. Nothing but a debtor.
Hey, I didn't own anything. I didn't owe anybody anything. I was shanghaied. I was blamed for someone else's mess. What do you think I'm going to be here for? I wouldn't sign on here. He kind of shakes his leg chain and goes, it's pretty obvious that they've got to keep me chained here. Yeah, you go ahead. You just wait.
Supposing you had an opportunity to earn your freedom. What would that mean to you?
My freedom? Well, it sure as hell wouldn't have me sitting here washing all of your dirty underwear, trying to get rid of the skid marks out of them. If I could earn my freedom, I'd go back to doing what I was doing.
Which was?
It was bartending. I was working towards finding a couple of new recipes for the family's list of alcohol recipes. Some new things to try, to put our label on.
Oh. You're a brewer, are you? Distiller?
Family is. You learn.
Well.
I was enjoying my time over at the inn at our last port, and a couple of your men decided to get into it with each other and caused a whole bunch of property damage. Next thing I know, I'm being the one clubbed over the head and drug off to this ship because one of your men died from someone else's hand.
Well, bartender, I happen to know the captain likes his wine. Do you know much about wines?
Yeah, I do. It's not my favorite thing to make, but I know enough.
Well, if you know about it, then maybe you could check the hold. Find a vintage that would be interesting for the captain to try.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow, like, how interesting.
Oh, you find him something he likes. Get him to drink a bottle with you. Maybe a second one.
Crazy.
Get him
He's
to
not
trust.
going to drink with me. I'm a slave at this point in time. Been shanghaied. Why would he trust me? He'd trust you more than he'd trust me.
Daggerdark's downfall is he thinks he is so high and mighty with his magic, his ability to twiddle his fingers. I tell you what, you get him to trust you with his drink. And then when the time comes, I'll give you a bottle to give him. It won't kill him. It'll just have a kick that will dull his senses more than he realizes. Then I'll do the rest. You help me with this, I'll make sure you not only are freed at our next port, but you get off this ship with a nice full purse of coins. What do you say?
Well, to make it work, you would have to go to the captain, say around dinner time, and tell him that you found out that I am family with I am family of a very well-esteemed brewer and vintner of the dwarves. And to test my knowledge, you sent me to the stores in the hold to pick out what I felt is the best that you guys are carrying, and that I was to bring it up to you and present it to him.
Very well.
To prove my knowledge, to prove my worth in regards to knowing the best brew, the best year and vintage of whatever is down there.
That's a clever plan. But make sure you don't try to get too clever.
No, I will simply, well, if he can stand looking at this face of mine, I can explain to him all that he needs to know about whatever the vintage is that I might find down there, how to tell a good vintage from a bad, and talk to him about the follies of relying too much on on wine, and how dwarven ale is some of the best out there.
My general opinion is that the only good dwarf is a dead dwarf. But
It's my family
some
you're
of
talking
them,
about.
And he spits on the deck at your feet.
that to your family. But I would keep some of them alive to make that dwarven ale. That's probably the best thing that they've ever done. Remember, I'm watching you.
And I'm watching you. If you want my help, you will not insult my family. Because they're the ones that make some of the best brew. I don't want to hear you talking like that about my family. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Besides, you have something to do, don't you? And then he also looks up at the chain that's hooked into the ceiling. And if I'm to go to the stores to see if I can find the best down there that might be had, I sure as hell can't do it chained to the ceiling like this.
I'll get you an hour before dinner. You'll have plenty of time to find stuff in the hold. I don't know what the hell this damn Daggerdark was thinking. What are we doing with this stupid giant on the boat anyway? We should be raiding, plundering, taking treasure. But no, we're just sailing endless circles out here in the trackless deep with this damnable giant. They say he lives, but the only reason I know he's not dead is because he doesn't stink like death. I don't know what they have, but it's foul. We get rid of this. We get rid of the captain. And this corpse of a giant is going over the side next. Ha!
Well,
And
if
then
he's a
we'll
king,
get back to...
get rid of the captain and ransom the king back to his people. Make some money.
Clearly you know less about storm giants than I do. I've never had to fight a storm giant, and I hope I never have to. This one appeared on the deck along with 3 mages that teleported. He was already unconscious. Don't know how they got him. Don't know where they came from. They took the captain into his quarters, had some words, and then they stepped out, and just with a flash, they all disappeared. And we were told, put him down on the lower deck and chain him up. That's the only thing that's ever been said about him.
Were they also giants?
No. They were humans, like that damn captain.
Well, like I said, if he's apparently a king, I bet you once you got rid of the captain, you could make quite a bit of money by giving him back to his people. Ransom him back.
They would see him. They would see him on this boat, and they would not rest until every single one of the crew was dead or worse.
On the other guy, blame it on the captain. You're just trying to right a wrong. And
tell that to an angry giant while he's trying to smash your skull into pulp.
What do you mean?
See how much good it does to you.
I've met giants before. Hell, I can speak the language. They're all a bunch of good. They're all a bunch of gooders. They like their booze.
Yeah, maybe when they're looking to spend a quiet evening in a tavern or a raucous evening in a tavern, but not when they have vengeance on their mind.
Well, why would they have vengeance against you? You ain't done nothing but follow orders.
I have the bad fortune to be on the same ship with their kidnapped king, as do you. You'd better hope they don't show up either.
Whatever. Let me get back to doing my work.
Very well.
Or I get another whipping because you distracted me and kept me from doing my job.
Very well. Get back to it, Tack.
And he turns and he starts to walk off, and then he stops and turns and looks in, and he thunders,
Get to work, you scurvy dog. Don't stand there just lollygagging. I want those cleaned.
and he storms off. And about that time,
As he storms off, Tat gives him the extremely rude gesture behind his back.
Okay, and then just as you finish that rude gesture, a couple of the other crewmen walk down the passage, and they just sort of look in and they see you, and they just sort of scowl at you, but they keep going.
I just scowl right back at him. What are you looking at?
And one of them reaches to his belt and grabs his dagger and pulls it about halfway out of its sheath. And the other one says, "We don't have time for that." Just sort of slaps him in the chest, and then the guy just gives you a look, and he slams his dagger back in the hilt, and they just go on.
And about this time, Tex just like snorts and then goes back to working.
Okay. All right. So, back aboard Linar Mall. We have finished lunch. And there is a meeting that has been called in the throne room. And so Count Thullen is there in the throne. The other 4 humanoids are over here. And then all of the giants make their way in. And all right. And so they are in here. All right. Whoops. No, they don't stand in the hole.
Before going in, I would have cast Comprehend Languages so that I could understand anything the giants speak if they don't speak in common.
Okay.
I can translate for you as well. I don't think I'm the only remaining member who can speak giant for now.
Okay. All right.
So I actually have to redo that. I'll walk up to the side of whoever's in charge and just say, I'll repeat. Carry on.
Yeah, that would be Count Thullen. Would be kind of holding the meeting, and he will look to you, and then he will say, and some of the other giants say, "Look at this dwarf," and some of them get this real scowl on their face, like, "Who does this dwarf think he is, walking up there?" And Count Thullen will say, "This is Krenraid. He understands our tongue. He will tell the rest of his people what is spoken here, and he will tell us what they say." And so the other giants, they kind of grumble, but they seem to understand what your purpose is, and some of them get kind of a smug look, like, "Okay, yeah, putting the small folk in their place." They should
Completely oblivious to all of this.
Yeah. They should do our bidding. All right. All right. There's. So as he says,
All right. We have just a few hours left until we intercept the Morkoth. Giants, what is your report on the status of the ballistae? They give their reports, and basically all the ballista are in working order. The fire giants and the frost giants are both sad to report that they have not had time to work on any of their enhancements that they hoped to. If they were to have a couple of more days, but they pronounce the ballistae are going to be capable of launching bolts that should be able to do a great deal of damage to any surface ship. And the count nods and says, "Okay, good. They were in good working order before. I'm glad to see that they are still functioning after the disaster that claimed my poor sister and her followers." And then he looks to Krenraid. He says, "Krenraid, do you or any of your fellow humanoids have any strategic ideas that we might put into place? What are your plans when we get to the Morkoth?"
While we're on the topic of ballista, I've been working on some ballista bolts with the help of a good friend Des, who's had to pop off for a bit, who has set up the way that they are firing into some leathery skin in case we do come across a great big sea beastie. That should help us get some traction with our ballista bolts. So that's on that topic. I've been working on that. The rest of that, though, I'm sure some of these guys have some ideas, so I'll just ask. All right, guys, so what's up in common? We are asking currently for any ideas that these guys have regarding any strategic stuff and boarding the ship. They're after any of our ideas at this point.
Just a thought that we just need to observe, and not shoot first, ask questions later. That's not the attitude, because it could either get some of us killed, or it could probably end up, getting the king killed. So we need to, pick and choose our battle on this one.
He's saying that if we were to fire away and blast the ship, right, we might hurt the king. So we need some way of picking and choosing our fights to make sure we get him out.
And one of the frost giants, Helgi, will say,
"Yes, that is good. Now, it is fortunate with the cloud giants. They are able to fly, so they could go down and help to provide some hand-to-hand. Now, unfortunately, I don't know that they can carry the rest of us. Now, where is your friend? Where's that one with the wonderful helmet? Perhaps if a few of us were to be able to make a surprise appearance on the deck, we could take the battle directly to the crew of this ship and leave a couple here on the ballista, and then some of you small folk, maybe some of you could teleport down with us. The rest of you could stand by the ballistae and help to load every time the giants fire. That might be good jobs for you small folk. Otherwise, just stay out of the way. Because this is our fight.
It's not just yours. All right, we owe a lot to Dragonkind, and we've done a lot to get where we are. All right. Sorry, Giantkind.
What?
Sorry, you big folk look a lot alike to me. But yeah, you giants are good people, all right, and we want to help out. So don't worry, we'll do our part. As for the guy with the helmet, that's Falazure. He's over there. Is your mic working now? Come.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
You're awful.
Okay.
Point over to Falazure.
What?
You're a little better.
Yeah. You are very quiet there, Ken.
How many people can you take down with that teleporting helmet thing of yours?
I can take 8 people, including myself.
Okay, so you could take 8 people. So that's including himself. So that's 6. No, 7. That's 7 people, including him.
No.
Actually, it's him plus 8 people.
It's 8 people, including plus him.
Yeah, it's funnily it's worded funny, and I think they changed it in other editions because I think in other editions it was a total of 8, but the way it's worded now, it's you and up to 8 willing creatures, which is why he was able to bring them all with one trip.
I would read that as part of the same thing, but that's just my understanding of English.
Krenraid. Wait a minute. I'm thinking. Here's the thing. Just if there's already one giant on that ship, I imagine that ship is sinking. Is swinging kind of low. I'm going to say if we took 8 giants and set on the deck of that ship, I don't think it would be floating anymore.
I just got back to a great point and point over to Falcon.
I look up at these giants like, yeah, they're pretty big people. No offense, but weight, distributing, a lot of things running through Theodor's head, just math. He's like, yeah, I mean, how big do we know? I mean, we know how big the Morkoth is, right? We have a general idea.
General idea. It's an ocean-going vessel, so it's pretty large.
Like
and
brigantine size or galleon size or man of war? What like, we had to put it compared to ships.
It's probably going to be closer to something. No, like a 2-master.
So a brigantine. Okay.
Yeah, probably something like a brigantine, and it's also probably in its dimensions. It's probably a little bit more narrow and perhaps slightly longer than a normal sailing vessel because of its unusual nature.
Gotcha. So Theodor's sitting there thinking, so brigantine size. No, we might be lucky to get 2 giants on board with King in the bottom. We might be lucky to get 2 or 3 before it starts throwing the balance of the ship off.
Well, I've got a question in relating to that. Bear with us, guys, please, with discussion. Wouldn't it be a good idea just to sink the ship with weight and then have everyone rush and grab the king? Because he's a water giant, right? Can't he breathe under the water?
Well, yeah, that would be a fair assessment. I'm kind of proud of you thinking that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking about the weight.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, it would. Yeah, that wouldn't be. I mean, you could turn the ship tits up if you think about it doing that. That's actually a saying there, Heather. I'm sorry. That's a real.
No. I just find it funny that you said it because I use that all the time.
Yeah, but it's true. Yeah. So I mean, because you could almost take or kill to stern if you did it right. So, because you put all the weight on the front, on the bow, you could, well, maybe. I mean, I thought I was just thinking, but yeah, I mean, if our goal was to sink the ship, and if Mulek, oh crap, Des is gone. Water breathing. If we could have, all of us could have water breathing, then yeah, sink the damn thing, and we can get, we could break the side of the ship open or whatever. Use the giant to break it open and rescue the king that way. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we want to, or if our goal is to sink the ship, we could do it.
Yeah, you guys all can water breathe. I do that first thing every morning. We can all water breathe.
Then there we go. So,
and will riders are on their way from Maelstrom. I let them know. So
perfect. So yeah, let's sink the damn thing then. Throw all the giants on it we can. You hear that, Falazure? Just take them all and land them right there on the deck of the ship.
I think it might be a good idea to grab some of them as what's the word again? Friends? No. Captives. That's it. Right. Yeah. Grab some of them as captives so you can interrogate them later.
Yeah. Can all? I don't know if all the giants can breathe water though. I mean.
And as this all gets translated, next door, who is one of the stone giants, he says, "I have been to Maelstrom several times, and all of King Hecaton's people, they can bestow the gift of water breathing on others. If they are coming with whale riders, if we sink the ship and some of us who are his liege lords happen to be in the water, I think they will help us. So we should coordinate our attack when we know that the whale riders are close."
I think it might be worth doing that if the whale riders don't spot a giant sea beastie underneath the waves, right? Because their whole thing is that they worship this giant squid thing, right? With lots of tentacles and lots of arms.
We think he is at Purple Rocks. So if we get to the ship before we get to Purple Rocks, we'll be in good shape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the beastie is at Purple Rocks. Are we under that assumption? Which can be a bad thing, but I imagine if it's at Purple Rocks.
I don't know. We don't know where it is. We just know they're headed towards the Purple Rocks. So we need to be careful.
Okay. Well, we've got enough giants and big folk that I think we should be okay. I feel a lot more comfortable with the big folk here facing a giant kraken than just us little humanoid folk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very, very big axes, big tentacles, good stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. Hope them big ass ballistas come in handy.
And Felgolos will stand up and come over to Falazure, and we'll say, Falazure, why don't you have Krenraid tell them that the four of us are very keen-eyed scouts. If we can be on the large, what do they call them? Spyglasses that are mounted at several points around the ship, we can be lookouts and call out. And then he also whispers to you, and then that would mean that when the time is right, if we have to, we can just jump over the side and take our other form to join the battle.
That's very smart. Okay, so what my friend here was saying was that we got some people with the spyglasses, right? And then if they see any giant sea beastie or any reinforcements or anything else like that, right, they can jump in and assist when we know what's happening, and we can all get down there and help the king together. right? What do you think about sinking the ship, then, Giants? You got any ideas about that?
And the fire giant says,
As long as the whale riders are close, I will burn it with my bare hands.
I love the enthusiasm. Very fiery. All right, that's a good thing. I think they're on board for sinking the ship. Right. So Mulek was saying this the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably misremembering it. But if you teleport, right, can't something go wrong? Or can't someone stop it or something?
Yeah, just so I'm clear, what in the hell is the exact plan here? You're thinking teleport 8 people, including myself, or creatures, onto that boat.
Yeah. The idea is that we teleport, a couple of us and quite a few of the giants, right? So there's so much weight suddenly on the ship, they could just tear it to pieces.
I'm proud of you, Krenraid, for remembering that important piece of information. Yes, I don't know what the ship looks like. I've never been on it, and I'm a little new with this magic, with the teleporting, and I think I have to have... It's a little quirky. I think the better I am familiar with a place, or I guess, yeah, a place, then the magic works better. If I'm not, then it's kind of don't know what the hell's going to happen.
There's a mystic voice of the universe that that puts a shared memory into the minds of Bell and Mulek and Falazure, all at about the same time, as you guys are pondering this limitation with the Helm of Teleportation. There is a caveat to knowing or being familiar with a place you are teleporting to. And that caveat is if you can see the place you're teleporting to. It's something that's almost never talked about with teleportation, because usually people think about teleporting very great distances. But if you can see the destination that you're going to, there's pretty much no chance you're going to have any kind of error in getting there. So if you get close enough to the ship you can see it,
Yeah.
then you're pretty good.
Falazure doesn't know that, though.
Like I said, Falazure, Bell, and Mulek will eventually figure that out. So maybe Mulek remembers it more rapidly than the others do.
As long as we can get above this ship without them seeing, which I think we can if we stay high enough. Falazure, I believe, as long as you can see that ship, you'll have no problem teleporting there.
All right, so we get above it and we use sight glasses so I can physically see it.
Yep.
I mean,
As long as you can see it.
I like this plan. What could go wrong?
And Count Thullen points to the center of the throne room and says, there's a wicked plan that my late sister once had, dealing with this hole in the floor of the throne room. She thought that it would be a nice place to drop things from a height onto unsuspecting small folk or sailing boats or things of that nature. I bet you could stand right here in the throne room, and when we get right over it, you could just teleport right out, almost as if you were being dropped from a great height.
So we just need to identify who of the 8 you will teleport with.
It's got to be our strongest fighters, I think.
I could teleport and possibly take one with me.
How about I go with you, Mulek?
Okay. So that's
me and
2
you,
of us.
yeah, me and you can teleport down.
I will leave IG up here.
So, just for clarification, Mulek, do you actually have the spell teleport, or are you thinking of Dimension Door?
Polymorph.
Huh? Polymorph?
Yeah, I meant polymorph. I could polymorph.
Oh, you could polymorph yourself and somebody else. Okay.
Yeah. I can polymorph myself and then carry somebody, right? If I polymorph into a giant owl or eagle or something.
Okay. All right. Now I understand.
Yeah, I accidentally said teleport. I meant to say polymorph.
Okay. All right. Well, the giants all seem to think this is a wonderful plan, and they look around to see if there's any further discussion. And the fire giants and frost giants, very eagerly, they all 4 of them jump into a song. And of course, it's a song in Giant. And Krenraid, it is a song about giant armies heading off to war. And they name all of the ancestral enemies of each verse is about one of the different ancestral enemies of the giants and what the armies will do to them when they get their clubs and swords and axes and hands and rocks on them. And of course, there's the obligatory verse about the dragons, and there's the obligatory verse about the dwarves, and there's the obligatory verse about the orcs, and there's the obligatory verse about the goblins, and there's the obligatory verse about the humans and the elves, and and this song just sort of continues on and on and on.
They seem very happy with the plan, but I think we need to do a bit of scouting and things first before we decide to jump on a giant ship.
Okay. All right.
Well, I always secretly wanted to jump out of a perfectly good flying castle and skydive to a ship several thousand feet below above an ocean to land on a small object such as a boat. So I like this plan.
Thought I'd put a little wind in your sails there, Falazure.
As he says sarcastically.
I know.
Okay, and I have 43 after the hour, so I think this is a good time for us to take our break. We will go ahead, and I'm going to put the slate back up. I'm going to bring the timer up, and viewers, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. And yes, Scary Jerry, Mike did make it. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us this evening. All right, I'm going to bring the music up, and I'm going to go with Jan the Noodling Bard at our break. And play some noodling songs. And I will be back in a few minutes. Remember, players, you can chat here if you want on the stream, or you can move to the off-stream chat channel. I'm going to mute myself so that they don't hear my microphone clattering when I take my headset off.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
I'm exhausted, but I'm happy to be playing D&D again, so I can't complain too much. Life's carrying on. It's almost Christmas. How about you?
Well, just tired. Damn blood thinners are wearing me out. It's a side effect of them. Just being very tired.
I mean, it makes sense. You can't carry the blood can't carry as much oxygen around your body as it used to. So, thinner blood done.
Yep, but
Fucking sucks.
yeah, it's all good. At least I feel okay. Except my freaking occupational therapist was swearing my blood pressure was through the roof. She was worried. I give her credit, but bless her. But it'll be all right.
How are you feeling beyond that? Like, what's lined up next?
I have an appointment on the 15th with the cardiologist, 22nd with the neurologist, and the 27th with the orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, you're good. They're getting it done.
I'm getting it done. I have to do all that. The cardiologist was scheduled because of where I was in the hospital, so that I have to go see the cardiologist to make sure I'm good with my heart and my lungs and stuff. Then the neurologist, I'd love to know why I'm going back to see him. Ain't nothing really changed. And then the 27th is to schedule the surgery to get the surgery done on my back. So
is that 27th of this month? Yeah.
Yeah, all three of them appointments are this month. Yeah.
All right. So your Christmas is going to be jam packed, full of treats and other crap.
It'll be right before Christmas and right after.
Great.
And then after the first of the year, to be like, oh, we got to cut you open after the first of the year.
Happy New Year resolution. We're going to cut out your guts.
we're going to cut you back open and fuse you in 3 spots, and hopefully you'll walk better.
Well, I'm glad they're getting stuff done. At the very least, I mean, you're getting stuff done, but at the very least, they're being a bit proactive about it. That's good.
Yeah, they were very proactive about it when I was in the hospital, and they pulled all the blood clots out of my lungs. I was very proactive. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing great. You know, not too bad. How you been, Ken? I guess you stepped away. James, been doing all right?
Yeah, doing good.
It's good
Just out in California this week and next. So
how's the weather?
Yeah, you're staying in like a hotel or something.
yeah, I'm at a hotel. Yeah, weather's good. It's warmer than Virginia. So
Yeah, Tennessee's going on a warm kick right now. It's supposed to storm like hell tomorrow. Like it's like almost in the 60, 70 degree mark.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been weird. Like I think that's another reason why I feel kind of because it's been really cold now, really warm, and really cold and really warm. Just wrecking hell on my sinuses.
yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, the difference in temperature really fucked human beings up. We're not made for that.
No, but I think it has to be worse. Poor James. Yeah, I don't know how you do it, buddy. You must take a lot of Allegra or something, because you're always traveling, so going from different biomes from here to there.
No, it's not bad because I'm mainly in buildings and stuff. I'm not really out and about.
Oh, you're good then.
Doing much, so
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'd be taking Allegra though. If I knew I was going to another state, I'd be taking like an allergy medicine like quick. Like I know if I go from here to Florida because of the humidity and how it is in Florida, I have to take an allergy medicine or I'd be messed up.
I'd imagine your body probably adapts to it somewhat, especially if you're doing it as your profession, right? Like your schedule, you're probably used to it significantly by now, right, Mulek?
No, I mean, I don't. The only times I get allergies or like hay fever is in the springtime when I'm, mowing the lawn. That's when it's the worst. Usually like for about a month. But other than that, I usually am okay.
I started getting sick a couple days ago. I had a big dust storm come through Texas. Next thing I know, I'm sneezing my ass off, and then runny nose, and then and then like yesterday or last 48 hours, it tried to turn into like a respiratory infection, and I got it down.
Ooh.
It tried to get down in my chest, so I went to CVS, dude, and bought like generic Flonase, generic Sudafed, generic Mucinex, and generic
Clean it out. Clean it out.
Texas and Oklahoma I got like the worst for like allergies and
it's that red cedar,
pollen, and it's the worst.
So I think I'm better. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound different.
Yeah.
You sound a little
I sound a little
Yeah,
like you're a little stuffed up or something. Yeah.
I see.
Oh man.
So what's up with Goody Broad changing her character?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's up with that?
One, I just got tired of Dez just sitting around in the background smoking his pipe. And I stumbled across this character. This character was originally made for a campaign like 3+ years ago. And man, I really love this character. Had, put everything together, background, the whole 9 yards. We gamed 2 weeks with the GM, and then the GM quit.
Oh no.
It does happen, yeah.
And it was like, what the hell? So I just tucked everything away and kind of forgot about it over the last couple of years, and then was cleaning out one of my folders and saw it and started reading it, and I'm like, oh my god, this character would be absolutely perfect for this game. And then on top of that, it just, like I said, I kind of realized that when I joined the group, I wasn't quite really sure. I hadn't really truly played a druid, full force before. And honestly, after really thinking about it, Dez's personality really is just, he's very laid back.
I love Dez. Dez is my buddy, though.
Remarkably useful at loads of different points.
Oh, yeah.
Him taking a back feet was, I think, a
let's put it this way. I've always got, if something happens to TAC, I have always got a backup.
That is fair, yeah.
Well, what I will say is that if you're not enjoying the role play of your character that you're playing, then there really is no point. So I love Dez as well, but if you're going to have more fun playing TAC, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, again, Dez's personality is just really, I mean, I kind of sat down and really thought about it and did some writing on it and just was like, yeah, he's so much in the background. I mean, he's support. He's kind of like, I'm just going to hang out here. I'm going to smoke my pipe and watch the world go by. Meanwhile, it doesn't really resolve itself to a lot of role play. So
yeah, I mean, that's partly up to us as characters to drag you into, though, which we have done, but not enough.
It's okay.
So that is.
I came into the game late, so hopefully you guys will like TAC.
Oh, it'll be fun.
You say late. It's been like 6-7 months almost now. We've known each other long enough.
Well, no, I meant you guys had already had established characters by the time that I joined. So
It doesn't matter.
And we were trying to figure out how to shoehorn me in with my characters. So I was kind of like stumbling around a little bit.
It did work.
It worked. So it'll
Happy
work.
Dog. What was that song? I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy dog.
I can't say I've heard that one, but yes.
You seriously have not heard that?
I don't think so.
Oh my god. It's a thing going around and has been for a while. This guy that kind of, I guess ever since he was a kid, he was always like making up little jingles and little tunes and stuff. And he's got like a golden retriever or something, and he was videotaping his dog, and his dog was like rolling around on his back, and And so the guy started doing this where he's like slapping his feet on the hardwood floor, and I'm a happy dog. I'm a happy, happy, happy dog. And the dog's just sitting there, shaking or rolling around at the same time. And it caught on like instantly overnight. And the guy's like, this is just crap I do. I just sit and sing these little ditties that just pop out of my head.
I love a bit of a jingle.
Oh, yeah.
A jingle jangle, not going into that.
No kidding. All right. Looks like GM is back.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, we are back for the next part of our session. The ship the castle continues on. Is there anything specific that you guys want to do in terms of getting ready for the coming battle?
I think making sure I get a good meal is ever so important.
Yeah, Mulek would have attuned to the new ring during lunch.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think have I in canon made the ballista bolts now, Gally? Because I've been working for like 2 days, or do I still need to work on that during this downtime?
Yeah, I guess you would have had a chance to make several of them. How if we use the formula of crafting 25 gold pieces worth per day, what would the cost of a ballista bolt be? Probably one that size. I would say maybe 2 or 3 gold each. So I'd say you could make eight ballista bolts each day.
Grand. So I'll just make 8 then, because I've been working on other things as well. So I think like a total work order of 8 sounds great, with these little barbs to make it a bit easier to gain purchase.
Okay.
Nothing mechanically needs to change. It was merely just thematic in my mind.
Okay. Then we're going here and here. I realize this character isn't done yet, so.
Also, have we determined who the 8 individuals that Falazure is going to teleport down? Because obviously we can't teleport the whole, the rest of the party with all of the giants. So we need to determine who's going to go.
Good question. I don't think we've determined that yet, no. I think if you and Faldor are doing that, I guess myself, Falazure, and 6 of the giants can go down together, I guess.
Do we know if any of those giants can go themselves? Like, can the cloud giants or the fire giants?
The cloud giants don't need. They can fly. They can also go in gaseous form.
What about the fire?
The fire giants, they would need. They don't have any way of getting down. Okay. None of the others. Of the giants that are on board the castle, the cloud giants are the only ones that have any kind of innate magic.
Gotcha.
All the rest of them are just big melee bruisers.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is either going to be really, really great, or it's going to go really, really bad, and I can't wait to find out which one.
Might as well just roll that d20 or flip a coin.
Okay. I'm getting this over here, and then I'm getting this over here. All right, now edit. Oh, shoot. I really dislike it. This happens. Okay, so we're gonna do. Okay. 94. Of course.
So,
This is the kind of thing that happens in every D&D game. All right. Now you select a token once it's got the AC and the hit points assigned. Very well. Okay. All right. You go ahead. Somebody was going to say something.
Yeah, Falazure.
so I'm taking both fire giants, both frost giants, and the cloud giants, and then I'm taking.
No, the stone giants.
Why am I taking the stone giants?
The frost giants don't need to be teleported.
No, the frost
Or the cloud.
giants.
Sorry, the cloud giants. don't need to
Cloud giants don't need to be teleported.
So fire, stone, and myself, you.
That's 8.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then obviously the dragons are chilling up here with the spyglasses and jumping in if something goes terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah. All right, and what we are going to do is we are going to, as the preparations happen on board that ship, we are going to once again take a little look somewhere else. And where we are looking is we are looking in the quarters of Captain Daggerdark on board the Morkoth. And Captain Daggerdark is taking his meal. And in the cabin with him is a half-orc. And this half-orc is Caraticus.
Caraticus. Bottle Sunder. Yep.
Okay, Caraticus. And Captain Daggerdark, he looks at the wine. He's tasted it. And he says, well, I wasn't sure if Rule was pulling my leg or not, but this is an excellent choice. What did you say your name was again?
It is Caraticus Bottle Sunder. Sir.
Caraticus Bottlesunder. That's a strange name for an orc.
It's
Or
a
half-orc.
dwarven name, sir.
A dwarven name.
Yeah.
How, pray tell, did you come by a dwarven name? Caraticus?
My real mother and father didn't want me. And after I was born, my mother threw me away, basically. And my parents came by, saw the crying baby, which was me. And since they couldn't have children of their own, they took me in and pretty much raised me as their son.
Oh. Huh. You don't say. Normally I would think that dwarves would kill a half-orc, put it out of its misery. rather than chance it to grow up and be an enemy.
I grew up to be a very good brother with my father, and I also went to other crafters to learn things like blacksmithing and some carpentry. I'm not very well educated in carpentry, but I can at least make things like wooden boxes and fix things, like ship hulls and such. But I can't make some of the fine, delicate things like chairs and all that fun stuff. But I can at least do some blacksmithing and whatnot. But my talents are in brewing and venting.
He takes another sip of this bottle or of this glass, and he picks up the bottle and he looks at it and he says, "So, tell me, Krenraid, are these notes of current that I'm tasting in this wine? What is that? What is that marvelous flavor?"
The vintage, the label that you're speaking of is of a human vintner that lives up in the. He rattles off some location that's prime real estate for growing grapes, and he offers to take the bottle back from him and takes just a sniff, and he goes, "There's hints of a smoky touch of applewood a little bit in with this, as well as currants, and the barrel that it's been they made sure that the barrel was oak that had been smoked before the vintage went into the barrel, and it was instead of it just sitting for long periods of time, the barrel was most likely rolled every quarter turn, about once a month as it matured.
Oh, I see.
Out of character,
And
I have no fucking clue what I just said.
That was
Excuse
pretty
my
accurate. Carry on.
So that's what keeps it from being so bitter in the aftertaste.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Well, Krenraid, yes, you are quite knowledgeable. So, what other skills do you have?
Well, as I said, I know how to do blacksmithing and a little bit of metalsmithing, but mainly blacksmithing. And I go, since I'm kind of doing a wander about, so to speak, to learn some new things here and there that I can't learn back with my family's tribe. I looking for different techniques in blacksmithing, picking up perhaps old recipes for certain types of brews, whatever I can find and pay for or trade for, so to speak. So, like I said, I know how to do some carpentry work or some basic woodworking, but it's nothing fancy. I know how to put two boards together and make it look decent.
Well, some of the crew may not be terribly happy with it, but I think up in the foredeck we might have enough room for a small brew kettle and possible distillery.
Well, I do hate to beg your pardon, sir, but a ship is honestly not a good place to put a distillery. You have too much chance of the uneven terrain, the waves, to disrupt everything. Sometimes, especially the different types of alcohols and grains used, you have to keep it on a level while it's cooking. Otherwise, it just keeps mixing the mash together, and you're not getting a good distill out of it. It may not work well on ship. And you always have the chance of having something creating too much carbon and too much bubbling, so to speak, and due to the rocking of the boat, and then you end up with an explosion.
Well, let me show you something, Karaticus.
And he does a little flourish with his hands, and he speaks a few words of magical incantation. And he points at the table where his food has been sitting, and the entire table, which sort of obviously is rocking with the motion of the waves and everything. The entire table lifts about a foot off of the floor, and then it just stays absolutely rock steady level. He says, "You see this? This is a mere trifle for me to do. I can set stable, free from any of the motions of the deck, and you could use that as a platform for your distillery. Now, I, Daggerdark, I aim to be the first captain among those in the society to have my very own ship's distiller. When we come into port, my sailors will go to the taverns, and they will drink. But that's not all they'll do. They'll go and they'll sell. They'll sell ale to the taverns. It will be the finest ale brewed in the open sea. The finest spirits that have ever been distilled beyond the waves. What say you? Would you want to go down in history as Daggerdark's personal brewer, personal distiller? It's an honor that many would jump at. And I'm offering it to you, Karaticus.
I would have to see this floating disc, and honestly, if you're wanting to make that much alcohol to be able to sell in port, and to make money on it, you're going to have to use up a large portion of your hold, and we would have to get some particular types of equipment as well as new barrels, because we can always use the barrels later after they've been emptied to put water in or some such, but you always want a new barrel for every barrel of alcohol that you produce, because you don't want one potentially bad batch going sour in a barrel and then trying to use that barrel in a different one. And he basically just goes on talking about how they would have to have possibly 2 discs because this is what they would need and this is what they would need. He basically just, well, he gets into it, and hopefully the captain doesn't get too damn bored listening to Kraticus go on.
After a couple of minutes, he just sort of waves his hand. Fine. We will have more space in our hold soon. I expect to be paid for our cargo by the society. They have plans for our friend out there. And he sort of nods toward his door, and every time you open the door to go out, there's a big old foot of a giant laying there.
He kind of looks at the giant and goes, well, begging your pardon, sir, but have you ever thought about possibly having a bidding war for him? His own people may pay handsomely to have him back, pay more than what you're going to make from the other people. But that's just me saying something. It doesn't mean that it's going to be true. Just thinking and trying to maximize your profits.
I appreciate you looking out for me, Kraticus, but no, I would be worse than dead if I tried to cross those that I report to. We serve a very demanding master. And once orders are given, they are never changed. And if they are disobeyed, well, you don't get a second chance to disobey.
Unfortunately, that's too bad.
Well, another time, another place. Perhaps if someday we get a chance to capture a giant of our own volition, maybe we'll put your plan into work. But why capture giants?
What do they want with him? If you don't mind me asking, what do they want with him?
I didn't know anything until the magicians showed up with him. And then I was told, keep him shackled and sail until further orders. I didn't even know it was a giant we were expecting when they told me to sail from Luskan with an empty hold. Or a mostly empty hold.
I see. Well, I better go finish my job before I earn me a few new stripes for not doing my job right.
Oh, yes. And speaking of your job, why don't you go down to the hold and organize the stores of wine? Rule will probably need you on deck in a couple of hours, but I'll give you something nice and quiet to do until he does.
Aye, sir.
Off with you.
He leaves.
Okay. All right. And so back on the castle. Okay, somebody is rubbing on their mic. Please
I apologize. Mute. That was me. I was trying to move around.
Okay. All right. Back on the castle, we find everybody, and so I think we said the cloud giants were all going to use their innate flying ability. the frost giants, the fire giants, and the stone giants were going to be the 6 that would go with Felgolos and Krenraid, right?
Yep. Myself,
When-
Falazure, Krenraid, Felgolos, and yeah. Just.
Oh no, Felgolos is not going. Felgolos is not going with you
Oh, so
guys.
Count Thullen? Or he can fly, right?
I'm sorry. Yes. I said Felgolos. I meant Falazure. So, yeah, Falazure and Krenraid are the humans, and then 6 giants are going with them. So that would be 8 there. Mulek and Thaldor would be going with the polymorph, right?
There's an extra spot then?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll have IG go with you guys.
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. So
Well, we're missing Bell.
Bell, yeah. It might be easier just to say Bell comes with us. I know we're missing out on IG, but it's probably easier next session as well if we
yeah.
start.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
IG can stay.
All right. So then Bell would come with you guys. All right. That sounds good. Let me go over here, and I will bring her over here. And then she will be right here. So we'll do this and this. All right. Okay, so as the day wears on, one of the humanoids that is up on the spyglass, they wave a flag, and Count Thullen notices that and dispatches or runs over and talks to them and looks through the spyglass, and then he turns around and he gives a signal, and that signal means that the Morkoth is in sight. And then several of you will have an opportunity to go and have a look at the spyglass yourselves. And when you do, this is essentially what you will see. You will see a ship that looks like so. It's got unconventional hull, a big, huge wedge-shaped thing that reminds you of the shape of a squid's head, and then some strange rudders that are trailing off to either side that are shaped to look like the tentacles of a squid. And in the hold, you see the form of a storm giant bound with strong chains, lashed to the deck of the ship. And there are several people, several crew members that are there, and they seem to be just simply sailing. From a side profile, You can see that the ship has one central tall mast, has a much shorter mast up towards the front. There does appear to be, when you're looking at the looking through the spyglass, there does appear to be a figure in the crow's nest at the top of the mast. But that person, if you look long enough, that person seems to, just as the ship rolls, that person just seems to kind of loll from side to side, as though they are probably asleep up in the crow's nest. And
So Mulek preparing he's going to bring Scout out and command Scout to follow. And I'm going to explain to Scout that I'm going to, or not Scout, Casper. Sorry, Casper. To explain to Casper that I'm going to transform into a giant owl and bring Thaldor down to the ship, and to have him follow me.
And all right. When and who all else do you tell this plan to?
Well, Thaldor knows what I'm doing, so
Okay.
I'm just explaining to Casper.
Okay.
I think you said it at the Great Hall, so-
telepathically to Casper that just stay close to me.
Okay, and as you begin this preparation, I guess yes, Krenraid, this was discussed in the meeting with everybody, with the giants and everything, and as you clearly start to prepare, Count Thullen will say, Mulek, before you go, we should find out where the whale riders are. We want to coordinate with the storm giants, and I think that my fellow cloud giants and I can give you some cover. We have the ability to create a mystical wall of fog. If we cast that spell here at the edge of the castle, and you fly behind that wall of fog, from the ship, it will take them a long time to realize that it's not just a part of the cloud they're seeing, but there's some sort of cloud drawing nearer to them. And once we get a bit away from the castle, then it will give your friend Falazure a clear line of sight to the ship for when his part of the plan is ready to go. But since there's a good possibility that some of the giants and some of you may wind up in the water, we don't want you to go until we know the whale riders are near.
Oh, yes, I'm not about to transform yet. Yes, I want to make sure.
Good.
I'm just bringing Casper out to make sure I don't forget him.
Okay. And then some of the other people on the spyglasses, they are kind of looking off in other directions. And then one of them, let's see, which one is it? It is Zillus. Zillus will point in another direction and say, I think that's the whale riders. And when you look through that spyglass, indeed you see about 5 miles away from the Morkoth, you do see a large pod of maybe 8 to 10 whales that occasionally will come up and breach for air. But when they do come up to breathe, you can see that laying as flat as they can along the backs of these creatures are enormous giants that just kind of have their arms around the body of the creature, and they're sort of holding on to the front fins of the whale, and then their bodies are just draped along the back of the whale, and their legs are sort of just hugged to the sides towards the whale's tail. And there looks to be maybe a dozen of them that are closing, and they are moving towards the Morkoth.
Can I tell about how long it's going to take them to get there and how long it will take me to fly down in owl form to time it?
Yeah, you guys, you can work that out, and you figure that when they get to a certain point, it'll take them just about as long to close on the Morkoth as it will take you to fly down.
Looks like it's game time.
Yep.
I'm pumped. Let's do this.
Daldor, you
Okay.
ready?
As if I'm ever going to be.
All right. And so, the preparations in the throne room come to a head. Everybody gathers around Falazure and Krenraid and Bell. The 6 other giants do. And Mulek, you know it's going to take you about 4 minutes to fly down to the ship at the speed that the fog cloud moves. The 3 cloud giants are going to go along with you and also shelter behind the fog cloud. And then the castle should pass right over the ship. And so, Falazure, as long as you're kind of looking through that hole, or looking through even one of the arrow slits, you'll be able to see that and then make your teleportation to go down there. So it all seems like it's going to come together at just about the right time, but I would like for you guys to roll a couple of skills checks. And this is just going to be to see how well you time this. In fact, go ahead, Ken.
Well, it's hard to say. So go ahead and finish what you're going to say. I'm thinking.
Well, right before we do anything, though, like one of the last things I do before casting Polymorph is I am going to cast Gift of Alacrity on myself.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead.
All right. Touch a willing creature. Duration, you add 1d8, and it lasts for 8 hours. Okay. All right. So,
So does okay. So we talk about this plan, right? And like Mulek's there, everybody's there. Falazure would have spoke up last minute change. He would have been like, "Hey, Mulek, polymorph's kind of a high level spell, isn't it? Sort of."
Yeah, it's high.
Now,
All right though.
This idea I'm about to pitch you is pretty insane just for someone like me, but I kind of dig it. What if we just jumped out of this hole right when we're above the ship, and then right before we hit the ship, we just feather fall right on top of it? Or is that too crazy even for me?
Well, I mean, the ship's moving. We're moving. If we time it just right, you can do featherfall, right?
I can, yeah. I could target up to 5 creatures.
So that would be 10 people.
Thaldor, you're good in math. What's the trajectory like on something like that?
Well, before we do something like that, shouldn't we think about
land? That'd be like trying to land an ant on a sling stone, moving really, really, really fast. So
what you're saying is it's doable.
Yeah, but I think it's risky.
The odds are not so ever in.
What if they have some guys that could stop finger waggling, and then your finger waggling stops and we just face plant into the deck?
There might be a couple holes in the deck, but I think we'll be okay.
All right, maybe I'm just overcomplicating things. We'll just scratch that idea. We'll use the helm.
We'll save that for another time.
We'll make sure to get your rambunctiousness going on later.
Okay, so what we have is a skills challenge, and this is intended to be not a terribly difficult skills challenge, but it's going to have you guys, and for this, Heather, we're going to use Dez for right now for your turn in the skills challenge. You guys can go ahead and roll your initiative. If you click on your tokens, it should automatically add you to the initiative list. And I think your token should be here on this map. Then
I'm using Des instead of TAC on this one, right?
Yeah, for this one.
Okay.
A last sort of hurrah for Des. Okay. You guys, the goal of this is to get 4 successes before you get 3 failures. What you're trying to do is you're trying to tell me what skills you used to basically make sure that the giants are prepared, you guys are prepared, and the timing is going to line up with the whale riders. And the success of this means that you guys will arrive at the ship, and the whale riders will go into initiative at the same time you guys do. Failure on this will mean that the whale riders will arrive a few rounds later than you do. So that's the stakes. That's the consequences. All right. So I see Falazure, Mulek, and Krenraid.
Sorry, I'm still trying to pull Des up. My connection quit on me.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you want to add 5 to my initiative, I don't know how to do that. Oh, actually, can I do it?
Yeah, you can click the number in the initiative tracker and edit it.
All right.
Okay.
I think that. Oh no.
I rolled that last time. Jeez.
Okay. 12, and then let's.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Click on my token. Initiative.
All right. Wonderful. All right, so I'll put it in descending order. Okay. Then we will get started with Krenraid. Okay, looking at your skills, thinking about the purpose of the skill challenge. What would Krenraid try to do to sort of help get the timing right here?
Well, thanks to Falazure's patience and his practice of a cowbell, I feel like his timing has improved because he's able to keep rhythmic timing, right?
Okay.
So, I think I'm not sure what this would be. It could be. It could be. What I'm going to try and do, I'll just describe it, is I'm going to try and use athletics to very loudly stamp my legs on the ground to a certain rhythm, incredibly loudly, so everyone can hear it and kind of use it as a frame of reference.
Okay, so almost like getting a countdown for when this is going. Okay, I like it. All right, so yes, let's go ahead and make that an athletics because I'll buy that's an athletics check.
Or athletics, and I'll let you choose because it could be both.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. Athletics, or what was the other one?
So I propose it as athletics, but it could equally be performance. So I'll let you choose.
Oh, performance.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let's go with performance. Yeah.
All right.
Seventeen. 17 is a success.
Woo!
All right. So everybody is getting into the countdown, and by quickly switching languages up, you're able to get both synchronized with the giants and the humanoids in terms of what's going on. And everybody's just sort of there getting into the rhythm as this goes. All right. Mulek. Krenraid has got a countdown going.
So I'm going to walk up. I'm going to be next to Krenraid and notice that he's tapping, and or at least make sure that I have an eye on the ship, and we can see the ship and the well riders at the same time, right? We're high enough up that we can see.
Yeah. So as they're closing, you can see that.
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking at that and noticing Kren sort of giving us a rhythm, like a count. I am going to try to gauge the distance and how high we are, kind of do some calculus in my head, basically try to use my intelligence or kind of, I don't know, it seems like this would fall under investigation, but try to calculate the time, and then I will help Kren either speed up or slow down the count for us to time when we're going to jump.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So you're going to make that as an investigation?
Investigation, yep. Now, do I get advantage if I'm holding the stone speaker's crystal at the same time? Or no?
Fair question.
I mean, I have to be very careful about setting a precedent here. Investigation is usually when you are doing a very close study of something, like perception to see that there's that there's something amiss about that bookshelf over there. Investigation to figure out if that's a trap or a secret door or something like that. So investigation usually is kind of like fine detail stuff. And in a way, you're fine-tuning a count. So it feels
I don't
like...
need to... Yeah, I don't need
feels
to
like from the... Yeah, it feels like from fine-tuning, it probably works. But everybody don't get it twisted that this means that when you're far away from something and looking over a scene, you can use investigation to figure out what's going on. It's more often going to be perception.
Well, I'll use perception if that's what you want, if that's better.
Yeah, I think it actually fits better.
Okay, I'll use perception.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to use my I'm going to use my inspiration that I have.
Okay.
Jeez, nat 1. Oh goodness.
Oh, unfortunately, that's a failure. So, actually, I have it backwards. So that it's one success, one failure. I should have started both of the tokens below the bottom of the. No, wait a minute. It's when they break out of the top. Okay, so that's right. All right, so they are 1 and 1. All right, Falazure. He used perception. What other than perception would you use as you're assessing this situation here? There's the countdown going. Mulek he's actually trying to fine tune that, but you're looking at that going, I'm not sure. I think Mulek is. Maybe he's not taking some variables into account. So what would Falazure do here?
I'm a little confused. Sorry. You're saying what would he do to do what?
You're trying to make sure that all the timing works out right so that you and the whale riders arrive on the boat at the same moment.
That's what I thought. Okay. Well, he's going to use... And I can't use what you say? I can't use perception?
Yeah.
Well...
But as a bard, you could use performance or any of your other skills. Even though Krenraid used performance before, he didn't go right before you, so it's open for you.
I totally didn't think about that.
I'll use persuasion. I will persuade everyone to not do anything rash that might alternately change our timing.
Calm the nerves with persuasion. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Hey,
yes.
That 20.
That made up for my mess up.
Yeah,
that is 2 successes. Okay, so yes, Mulek, you're like struggling with that, and then this calming presence with Falazure. He's like, breathe, steady, and it's just something about the way he says it. It kind of clears your mind, and you go, oh yeah. I was getting that all messed up. I was trying too hard. I was trying to think of too many different variables, and it was throwing me off.
I was supposed to multiply that equation, not divide it. Oh, that's what screwed me.
The symbols look so similar.
I told you, man.
Yep. And so now it is 3 successes to only 1 failure. So Falazure.
So Falazure's trying to think. He's sitting there just after that inspirational speech from Captain Charisma. He's like, there ain't much I could do that would be better than that. Except sleight of hand. So what I'm going to do is, just to make Mulek feel better, I'm going to slide a nice shiny platinum into his coat and pat him on the back and say it's going to be okay. Just as a little, my way of pre-battle jitters to get them out of the way. I'm just going to slide a nice shiny platinum into his pocket.
You bribing me for
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it'd be something nice to do, and it's like my way of getting
good luck token.
Good luck token, yeah. But knowing that I'll get
Okay.
it back from you later after the battle.
Probably exactly the same way.
Exactly.
All right. So yes, that is a success, and so everything works out, and those that are free falling go into free fall. Those that are teleporting use their teleport, and the cloud giants, they go into they actually slip out a little ahead, going into gaseous form, and they drift down. But as you guys free fall, you go past the gaseous form of the giants, and who's using the feather fall? That's
No, none
Mulek's
of us
group?
are using. No, none of us. We're teleporting, and then I polymorph into a giant owl.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then
So yes. So you then you guys go with the giants and the fog cloud, and you close on the boat. Just about the time you get close to the boat, somebody on the deck looks up and says, "Hey, what's that spot of fog there?" And somebody else looks up and says, "No, that's peculiar. I haven't seen anything like that before." And as that fog cloud gets very close to the deck of the ship, this enormous owl flies through the fog, carrying a who's it carrying? It's carrying
Aldor.
Thaldor, right? Okay. So carrying Thaldor, and you guys head right towards the front of the deck, and at the meantime, these three giants burst through the fog, and they head towards the back of the deck. And so we can go and grab some tokens here. I'm going to get tokens out of the throne room, and we'll say Mulek and Thaldor. Oh, where did Thaldor go? I think Thaldor is still down here. Yes, he is. Okay, so Thaldor is now up here. Okay, come on. Where did I just put him? I dropped him and now he's gone. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So the five of you show up. And you'll be on this particular map here. Okay, So, you humanoids in the front, the giants in the back. And they will land here. And you guys will show up over here. Then, in terms of the Krenraid and Falazure, you guys can go ahead and decide where you want to teleport into. Do you want to teleport into the middle part of the ship? Do you want to teleport more towards the front, more towards the rear? Because remember, you guys have all of these giants with you. And I will allow you to sort of rearrange them a little bit as you come in, but just in general, would you want to teleport more centrally?
Well, we could teleport up here, right? This just seems to be like a top of a deck, right?
Can you ping that again? I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the. Oh, okay, yeah. You can ping. You can teleport there.
Since the cloud giants are kind of going towards the back, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
We all just kind of disperse here somewhere.
There's a shout as this big owl and these several giants materialize or fly down to the deck, and then there's an even bigger shout as there's this heavy, very heavy groaning from the front of the ship as 6 giants and 2 more humans just suddenly appear on the bow plane on that deck, kind of that sits just above the waterline there in the front. And on the ship, there is this cry of "We're being boarded!" And this is going to start our battle. Okay, there's a bunch of thudding, and the thudding is the giants as they start to stomp and bash around. Some of the other noise is the sound of the crew as they get ready to join the battle. And we can go ahead and we will actually start that battle next time. We'll roll initiative and get everything going. Okay.
You wasn't joking when you said this thing was shaped like a squid. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. All right. So next time, what I will do is I will have your whale rider allies of the storm giants in position to join you in the attack, and then we will start with the battle as large. There will also be a half-orc that is on the deck that is Perhaps not like the other people that are part of the crew, but we'll have to see about that.
I have to convince the giants.
Yes. All right. Well, I think you guys came up with a really good plan of how to get everyone down there. So I applaud you for that. And that skills challenge, it's just a good way of making sure. Okay, does this all go according to plan or not? So. All right, viewers, join us next time for an exciting battle as the party take on these pirates that have kidnapped King Hecaton, and we will see what becomes of them in that next in our next session. All right, I'm going to put us back on the starting slate, and Paul and Michael, give you guys a chance to let people know what's coming up on your social media streams and other games that you may be involved in the coming week. So, Paul, what's up with you?
So I play in quite a few streams. I'm enjoying myself across a bunch of different places. For me, the one that doesn't conflict and having a lot of fun with right now is got to be over at Gaijin Games. We're playing Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which is all about the Feywild and everything else like that. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's your Alice in Wonderland on steroids. Madness, and I adore it to pieces. They hit a milestone over there as well. They play at 8 p.m. CST on Tuesdays, which I don't believe conflicts.
No, it
Perfect.
does not. It does not. Twitch.tv/guy. Is that JIN?
Correct. Gaijin Games.
Okay.
They recently hit the 100 subscriber milestone, so that's a big deal for those guys over there, so I'm very happy for them.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, we hit that here not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very cool milestone when you get to that. So Tuesdays, it's what did you say? 6 p.m. Central? Or?
7 p.m. Central.
7 p.m. Central Time, USA. Okay. All right. So, check them out over at Gaijin Games. And then, Michael, is there anything going on the Doors of Fear channel in the next week or so?
I'm just a variety streamer, but I'm thinking of, since the campaign for Halo Infinite came out, and I have Game Pass, I'm thinking of streaming Halo Infinite this week. And some more Sea of Thieves since we're in Season 5. That's why I asked you earlier about the size of the ship.
Yeah. I figured, hey, it was all this knowledge of playing Sea of Thieves that's coming in handy for this part of the campaign.
Yeah, this actually, what's weird about this, it only has one mast. So I'd put it, it's got the extra attachments on this ship. But I'd put this, magic. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, because there's no way with one mast and that big old thing, it would move that fast.
Yeah, definitely, it's magic. It's magic.
Welcome to D&D, everybody.
Yeah.
Where the impossible is possible.
Yes. Indeed. And you can find Michael over at twitch.tv/doorsofear, and you can find Paul's Tuesday night stream over at twitch.tv/Gaijin Games. And now here, normally I stream only on Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, tomorrow evening, I haven't decided exactly when, so watch my social media feeds. I'll put up a notice about when I'm going live. I am going to be doing a special stream that I was planning on doing this week anyway, but as it turns out, we hit yet another milestone. over on the YouTube channel, and that is we hit 1,000 hours of videos viewed. So now that we have that milestone, tomorrow I am going to give you my first impressions in a live stream of the brand new Strixhaven book that just dropped from D&D. I'll talk a little bit about what is in that book, some of the things I really like about it, ideas of how you could incorporate some of those adventures into your campaigns. And then I will also be announcing the monster that we will cover on Monster Monday next week, because I'm going to choose a monster that is new to 5th edition out of the Strixhaven sourcebook. So this is, it's very obviously heavily inspired by Harry Potter. So it's kind of the Magic the Gathering and D&D take on, well, what would a school of wizarding be like in the D&D / Magic the Gathering multiverse? And so it's got some interesting things in it, and it does introduce us to a whole new plane, which is kind of fun. And I think this time it's a whole brand new plane that they've never been to in Magic, and it released both for Magic and for D&D on the same day. So
it released for Magic about 7 months earlier, but they released a supplement, the pre stuff, like the supplement for like the schools of wizardry that you could do at like 2 months afterwards. It was really quick together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then this week the D&D stuff dropped. It shows you, Paul, that I've been out of playing Magic for a few years.
You're fine. It was really close together. They released the Strixhaven set on MTG, which I was really hyped for and excited about. And then they released about 2 months later all of the pre-release stuff for this book they've now dropped. So we had like the Unearthed Arcana of like the schools of wizardry and things.
Okay, yeah.
So we knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I've been poking through it a little bit this week, and it's definitely got a lot of interesting stuff in there. So
it's nuts. It's nuts.
It's a fun thing, and they have basically a whole campaign that takes you from level 1 to 10 that is centered around going through 4 years of university at this magical school.
Yeah, so it's American college meets Harry Potter. That's how I would describe it. Yeah.
Definitely. There's a lot of things that make you feel like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember stuff. I remember nonsense like that in college. And then there's also kind of the Harry Potter. I think there was a lot of American college and boarding school stuff that inspired Harry Potter as well, even though J.K. Rowling is British. I think she was sort of tapping into a lot of stuff that seemed very familiar, very Americanized or at least in the film adaptations. All right, and then Saturday night, we're here for our 2nd edition game. We are going through the Temple of Elemental Evil, and the party has a decision to make. Which way are they going to go with stuff they found on Saturday? So I'm going to be curious to see what they decide to do. And then Sunday, we are in our Walker of Waterdeep campaign. That's our campaign where it's a planeswalking game that crosses the lore between 5e D&D and Magic the Gathering. They are in a plane inspired by Arabian Nights, and they are about to fight a giant tortoise, which, from everything they've heard, is something of a truly terrifying creature. And they are about to see what that battle is going to be like. Fortunately, they have a bunch of people from the village that are helping them in that fight. So we'll see how that goes on Sunday afternoon. So tune in and join us for those. And then, of course, Monster Monday, we will do whatever monster I decide to pick out of the Strixhaven book. And then we'll be back next Thursday to do the Battle of the Morkoth. Anybody else have any other announcements they would like the stream to know?
Other than congratulations, it's well deserved. Getting the 1,000 hours watched is a huge achievement, and
yeah,
should be celebrated.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's yet another thing. It feels like it's helping to push the channel a little bit forward. And between last time when we went live and tonight, we've picked up 5 subscribers over there on the YouTube channel. So
Get it.
that seems to be working. So we're trying to see if we can hit our stretch goal of 150 subscribers by the end of the year. That's probably going to be probably more realistic to say 125, but what the hell, we'll go for 150.
It's Christmas, right?
There. Yeah.
Time of giving. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Come on.
And I am going to check the streams to see who all else is doing some Dungeons and Dragons. And if well, normally I try to do raids for people that are that need viewers, but tonight, why not? We're going to go ahead and raid somebody who doesn't need any help from us, but we all might have a lot of fun raiding it anyway. We're going to go ahead and raid Matt Mercer in his Critical Role game. So let's do that. All right, everyone, take care, have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next time on the Sword Coast Chronicles. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.